Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm a coffee specialist with Rancilio, and today we will focus on how to make coffee with the Rancilio specialty RS1. All right, first of all, each group has two volumetric buttons and a purge. You can change this purge to continuous flow in the technician tools. So swipe right twice, go to setup here. So to use the button as a purge, make sure flush is on and continuous delivery is off. To use this button as a continuous flow button, turn flush off and continuous delivery on. You can press the button and it'll keep flowing forever until you stop it, or it'll stop at 180 seconds. So to use this button in dual mode, you can hold the button for more than a half second and it'll continuous flow. And then to use it as a flush, just press it one time and it'll flush the group. All right, now we're going to go over how to dial in espresso using the volumetrics. So to use the volumetrics, you'll want to use self-learning mode. And you can see pulses here. Pulses are what the flow meter reads as water travels through it. So you can use the volumetrics here to make sure that you land on the same espresso yield every time. So to use the self-learning mode, I'm going to go ahead and pull a shot. All right, I have 18 grams of espresso here. And so to use the self-learning mode, just go ahead and make sure you have the button selected that you want to adjust the flow meter for. Go ahead and set up your cup and the scale, and then activate the button. And as the shot is brewing, you'll notice the pulses are going up. And so that's the flow meter telling you how many pulses have been used to pull the shot. All right, so I was looking for 36 grams out. I'm a little bit shy here. So if I want to land exactly on 36, you can just go to your pulses here and then just increase just a little bit. Then go ahead and pull another shot and make sure that you're landing on 36. So to set your temperature for your espresso, you'll see two temperatures right here. To brew on a flat profile, just go ahead and set both of them to be the same temperature. This is your beginning and ending temperature for your shot. So if you want to brew on a flat profile, make both of those temperatures the same. If you want the temperature profile, go ahead and raise or lower one of those temperatures. Keep in mind though that the group needs the volumetrics to calculate the temperature profile as the shot brews. So what you'll want to do is use the first or second volumetric button when you're using the group, if you want a temperature profile. If you use the continuous flow button to brew using the temperature profile, it's only going to brew at the group head temperature. So if you want a profile, just make sure you're using the first or second buttons on the group. So once you have your group dialed in, if you want to use the same profile across all the groups, go ahead and hit sync. And it'll ask you if are you sure you want to synchronize all the groups? Hit yes. You can exit back out. You have the same temperature profile and volumetrics running across all the groups. If you want to use the groups independently, you can just go back and turn sync off. So to make the most use of the parameter tracking software, you'll want to set both of your target times here for each volumetric button. And we'll get into the parameter tracking software later on. But once you have dialed in a group, just go ahead and set the time for the extraction where it tastes the best there. So going back to the home screen, you'll see that you have steam left and steam right down here. So this is the amount of steam delivery per each setting for the steam levers. So I typically will set the power level 1 at about 60% and power level 2 at about 100%. This is running 1.4 bars of pressure in the steam boiler. So it's essentially like using a restricted steam tip for the lower setting. That's what it replicates. And then the higher setting is similar to using a less restricted steam tip. So to demonstrate the steam power levels, I've got setting 1 at 50% and setting 2 at 100%. The reason why you'll want to do 50% for one setting and 100% for another setting is for steaming smaller or larger drinks. It's similar to using a restricted steam tip if you've ever used one of those. So right now with 50% power, it's going to be similar to using lower pressure in the steam boiler. So going between 50 and 100%, you'll see the power of the steam increase. So you would maybe use 50% for smaller drinks like a cortado or a cappuccino or something. And then you would use the larger steam or the higher power delivery for larger milk-based drinks. So since we aren't using traditional steam valves, if you ever need to depressurize the espresso machine, go ahead and power off the machine. Once you've unscrewed the top, lift it up, and you'll find a thumb screw right here. And you'll just turn it tighter to depressurize, and looser, it's reverse threaded. And then you'll turn it looser to tighten it back up. So back at the home screen, if you swipe to the right where the group head parameters are, you can see the last 30 extractions for each group. If you swipe again, you can see detail for each group individually. So this is where the time that you set before for the shots comes in handy. So you can see for each group which button was used, what the preset time or the target time was. You can also see how many pulses were used if the shot was finished or if it was stopped early. You can also see the temperature profile. So you can see for the very last shot it was 19 seconds, which was 5 seconds off of target, and it was stopped early because it wasn't at the set pulses for the group. To adjust pump pressure, locate the knob under the right-hand side of the machine. In the same vicinity is the USB port, which you can use to save or share parameters, error history, and counters. Go back to the previous screen and select Recipe to save the recipe. If you'd like to load a recipe, hit Load Recipe, and then select a recipe that you'd like to load. At any point, you can go back and see previous recipes and see the parameters for those recipes. That's everything you need to know to get started brewing espresso on the RS1. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any point. Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more videos from Rancilio featuring the RS1.